Hey, thanks for coming on and checking out our quick little video on tips on how to build an insurance agent website. Let me introduce myself. My name is Ken French. For those of you that don't know me, I'm the president and founder of Snoozy Incorporated. We work with insurance agents all across the country, helping them build websites, post content on social media. Doesn't matter what the products are, Medicare, health, life, property and casualty. My experience has been in the insurance industry for the last 25 years. In the old days, we used to have a family-owned business that was kind of like a general agency, a wholesaler. Our clients were independent agents who sold employee benefits, Medicare, life, health. Long story short, we sold that company back in 2009. And when we sold it, I took my wife, Carrie, a few of my IT people, and we formed Snoozy, and we've been helping agents with their websites ever since. And the tips I want to give you today, I think are good general tips if you're trying to either upgrade your website this year or if so most people today, in my opinion, they're going to come to your website for two reasons. They are going to be referred to you and they are going to Google you and do a background check on you. Or two, you're sending them to the website to do something, schedule a meeting, fill out an authorization form, whatever it might be. So I think to me, that's always very important. When you're developing your website, you want to think of those two scenarios and develop around that. Remember, you're an independent agent. Your strength is the relationship you have with people, your personality, your responsiveness, your friendliness. You don't want to design a website that looks like a call center, something that's super faceless and something that's very corporate. You want to be the opposite of that. You got to play to your strengths, and your website, it needs to project that. And so many agents I've worked with in the past, they have that opposite attitude, and it takes them down a path where you're not going to be successful. So big picture, I think the key to having a website is having a game plan. Like I said, either A, people are going to be background checking you, or B, you've got to be using this site. It's very unlikely someone is going to go into Google and type in health insurance and you're going to come up first. So in my opinion, you want to focus your website on these three core sections. One, you've got to brand yourself. If somebody comes to the site, they need to see your picture, your logo. There should be a page that says, why should you work with me? You should review what your process is. Do you do in-person appointments? Do you do phone consultations? Give them a roadmap of how you're going to get them to the finish line. Most importantly, you need to have client testimonials on this website. I'm an analytics guy. If I study my websites for my clients over the last 15 years, the testimonial page, always the number one page hit, usually the second click when someone comes to the site. Two, you've got to have a game plan for cross-selling products. So you really need to have a section that reviews the different services you offer. And you should prioritize that I focus on this, but I can help you with this. Very important. And then almost most importantly in today's world, the site has to be functional. You can't be waiting for people to find your website. You need to send them to your website. There's so many tools out there in our industry now that can help you become more efficient and do more volume, whether it's letting them go see your calendar and schedule an initial meeting or a customer service call, letting them go to the site and fill out an authorization form or a permission to contact form or a scope form. Obviously, a lot of the carriers and uplines give you pearls and shopping tools. Most people are now capable of making educational videos or even integrating their CRM. So having the site functional and having reasons to send people there, very, very important. Things to prioritize when you're initially building the site. If you sell Medicare, you better know the compliance rules. In today's world, if you don't and you do stuff that's silly and goes against the rules, you will get turned in, you will get fined, you will get shut down. So know what you're doing. Number two, like I said, having testimonials, incredibly important. Number three, making yourself look real. And I think the best way to do that is pictures. Obviously, you should have a headshot, but look, you should have pictures of you and your team in action. If you're just an independent agent, try to get some pictures doing some of the workshops and local events, or even if you're just volunteering in the community, anything to not look like a call center, anything to make you look more friendly and more real is going to help you. Getting a Google business listing set up, very important in today's world. You got to get verified. And then, of course, it does make sense for retention to have a matching social media presence that looks like your website. You shouldn't be on there soliciting people. You should be on there getting as many of your clients as possible to follow you, and you should be dripping good educational material on them as much as possible. So I always suggest, review your day-to-day activities. Pinpoint things that you can easily build into the website that are going to make your life easier. It could be as simple as if somebody calls you, then on your voicemail, you tell them they can go to the website and schedule a meeting with you later today or tomorrow. Maybe it's a system that you have that after you have a first meeting with a potential new client, you have a special pre-written email that sends them to the website to look at the testimonials, to fill out an authorization form. Any types of systems you have that you can just replicate, it's going to save you time and it's going to help you use the website. Things to not stress over. And I always tell people, look, initially when you're site, you've got to use your gut. You've got to put what you think is best, and you got to keep moving. You can't get paralyzed. I've worked with a lot of agents over the years that'll spend 3 or 4 months on silly stuff like colors, and they don't even really know what they're doing. So, just to go through, like I said, colors throughout the site, that kind of stuff can be changed so quickly. Stock images throughout the site, do your best. Don't put anything offensive, and get that website up, get it optimizing with Google. And if you have some people make some comments about the stock images, all right, you change it out. It's not a big deal. It shouldn't stop your creative process. The other thing too is be careful about educational resources and guides. Remember, the consumer is coming to you because they couldn't figure out this stuff. They couldn't read it themselves and self-teach themselves and enroll. So I deal with a lot of agents who they just want to build a library of material on the site. And a lot of times that stuff is valueless. The people don't look at it. So be careful about putting too much of that stuff on there. The other thing too is be careful of trying to copy your competitor's site. Most likely their site has no game plan, has no thought process, and it's probably not very good, even though it might look initially impressive. So stay away from that kind of stuff, because in the end it can affect, like I said, trying to play to your strengths and being you. And then finally, be careful about getting a domain name. In my opinion, this is the last step. You should have a rough draft of the new site done. You should go through the creative process. Then at that point, you should go try to pick out a domain name, because I feel you'll be in a lot better position to come up with something that's going to match and be relevant. A lot of times I have agents come to me and say, well, this is my domain name. And they haven't put any thought into the creative process. And usually when you get to the end of the creative process, you go, well, this domain name doesn't really work. And they kind of say, well, you're right. I never really thought about it. So don't stress about getting that domain name. It's the last step in the process. Listen, I appreciate you checking out my video. If you're somebody who feels like you can't build a website yourself, feel free to check us out at snoozy.com. Like I said, we've been doing this for 16 years. We will interview you, go through your branding, go through your process, go through the functionality, build the whole site for you. We don't charge any setup costs, just a monthly fee to use our services. Check out snoozy.com, and there you can set up a consultation with us to kind of figure out if we're a good fit for helping you. So, like I said, hang in there. Good luck, and talk to you next week.